Good morning, folks. How are you? You gonna have a good day today? That's good. Now listen, I'm in a strange house at the moment. I'm at my son's place. They're away on holiday, and I'm looking after their 2 cats and a dog. So if you hear some cats running around or some dogs barking, you know it's where it's coming from. Listen, I thought this morning, I've been lying in bed thinking about what am I going to say this morning. I've been giving Christine a hard time, and I've been slinging off at the government, and I've been talking about myself a lot, and you're probably all confused, you know what's going on? So I thought this morning I would break it down into 3 areas. First of all, I'm going to talk about the government. Then I'm going to talk about myself, and then I'm going to talk about Christine. Christine, by the way, for those of you who don't know, is a woman who I had to dismiss from my employment, and she took a personal grievance claim against me and won. Now, I'm here today to try and change the employment law in New Zealand because it's corrupt. I believe it's corrupt, and and what makes me believe it's corrupt is the fact that I'm experiencing it. I've been through it. Okay. Now, I've been around a long time, and I've been around long enough to know that people do things for reasons. Nobody does anything without a reason. And the government does things for reasons. The government is in charge of the laws in this country, and they do it for a reason. One of the laws in this country is the Employment Relations Act, which is a law that says what employers and employees cannot do. And it's one-sided. And the reason it's one-sided is because the people that work in government, the people that are elected to government, to Parliament, are elected there by votes. And the more votes they can get, the more greater chance they are getting into Parliament. And in New Zealand, like anywhere else in the world, the majority of people are employees. And all employees have a union. And the union's job is to get them the best deal with the government. So they've got a very good deal at the moment. The deal with the New Zealand government, as far as employees is concerned, is if any employee gets the sack after they've been with the firm for 90 days, they can sue the boss for a personal grievance. And this is what this talk is all about. It's about a personal grievance claim, which one of my employees has made on me, and won. So how did my former employee win? Well, she won because the law is one-sided. And the reason it's one-sided is because it favours the majority. And you can't blame them for that. And I'm fighting a losing battle here. You see, I've been putting stories onto my blog telling you what happened. And I've also been putting it on YouTube. And guess what? No one responds. The only people that respond are nutters, cyberbullies that have a go at me all the time. But no politician. Every day, when I finish this morning, I'll be sending a email out to all the politicians, and 112 or something of them in Parliament. And guess what I'll get back? 2 or 3 will say, will send an automatic reply and say I'm on holiday, or sorry. Your thoughts are important to us, but we'll get back to you in another 30 days or so. No one's ever contacted me. No, they don't care. They don't bloody care, because it's not the majority I'm talking about. I'm talking about the minority here. That's why. And what's this employment law all about? It's about money. It's not about production. Nobody produces anything. Nobody plants a seed in the ground and it grows and they manufacture something and it sells and increases the economy of the country. No. It's all about money. It's shifting money from one place to the other. And the majority of the people that are involved in this industry, the employment industry, in the Employment Relations Act, are lawyers. And many of those lawyers' firms are in politics. They work in politics. So there's a lot of money moves from the employee into the hands of lawyers, employment lawyers. It's a whole industry. And they don't care about the employee. The woman I dismissed, and we went through 4 years of torture in the employment court, her life's a mess. It's a wreck because of the law. But she didn't make any money out of it. She spent something like $40,000 on lawyers' fees. And the most I paid her was $30,000. So it cost her $10,000. Not only that, the lawyers ripped her off. The judge said, in his summing up, that the lawyers had overcharged her by $10,000 because they'd used a junior lawyer and charged senior lawyers' fees. So the whole thing is corrupt. Yeah, just a minute. So why aren't businesses supporting me? Why aren't the big businesses supporting me if I'm trying to change the law which is one-sided? Well, for a starter, there are people in big business that are paid to fight the law. They make a living out of fighting the law. They get paid. And the big businesses have insurance policies against those who sue them. So it's in their interest to keep it going because the person, there's money to be made by the company. Now, the other thing is, what about the little small businessman? Well, he's too scared to say anything. You see, he's the one that's paying. I was a small businessman and I had to pay because that's the only place to get the money from. It's all about money. It's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's about money. And they look to the people with money. Now, they look to me because I had money. I didn't have it in cash, but I had it in assets. And I was able to, and they knew that they could sell my house if I didn't pay. Because the law says if you've got judgment against you, you have to pay, as long as you got some assets. And I had some assets. When Christine sent her wage check back and said no, she didn't want her wages, she wanted a personal grievance claim because there's more money in it, I knew then there was something wrong because I went to mediation. They kept telling me that if you don't pay, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. You could lose everything. And I thought, and I rang a guy in Auckland who was supposed to be representing the business people. And he said it's corrupt. He said, up here in Auckland, you wouldn't believe what's happening. He said, there's business people wanting to commit suicide because of this. It's corrupt. He said, it's just got to stop. And he was all concerned about it, but he wasn't doing anything about it. He couldn't do anything, because he's sucking on it, you see. He was giving the business people advice. He was using the system to make money himself. But it is corrupt, and it's got to stop. Let me tell you a little bit about myself now. I've been in the finance industry for, 30-odd years. And most of those years I've been self-employed, had my own debt collection business. And I know all about finance. I know all about debt collection. I know what it's like for people who can't afford to pay their bills. You see, when I was in the debt collection business, I never collected a debt. I went round to see people, I wrote to people, and I said, listen, you've got a problem. I'm here to help you pay your bills. So I helped people pay their bills. I kept my business going. The last 3 years of my business, I run at a $27,000 loss. Why didn't I close the business down? Because I wanted to keep Christine in a job. She had financial problems. I knew that. And I wanted to keep her in a job. And I had a lot of clients who were relying on me. So I kept it going. I was taking no money myself. I stopped taking my money some years ago. I wanted to keep people employed. But unfortunately, Christine didn't see it that way. She took a personal grievance claim against me. When I saw how corrupt the system was, I decided not to pay. I decided I would go through the whole system and see how corrupt the system is. And when judgment was given again to me, I said I wouldn't pay. Now, what happened was, Christine heard about a mental breakdown I had some years ago. And she knew that I had a mental illness. Well, 30 odd years ago, I think it is now, 25, 30 years ago. And she brought that up. She wrote to people telling them that I had a mental illness. She brought it up in court. She stood up in court, her and a lawyer stood up and said, Ron Bishop has bipolar disorder. And the judge let her do it. Pretty low, isn't it? How low can you get? 30 years ago, I had a mental illness and I had to wear that. And it helped to win a case. I've asked myself, why did Christine do it? She did it for money. She wanted to make me look bad in front of the public. I haven't been able to work because it was in the newspaper that Ron Bishop, a mayoral candidate, has mental illness called bipolar disorder. So that's why I'm going to the government for $1 million to get some of my money, not only my money back. I want to show the world that this is wrong. That in New Zealand, a beautiful country like New Zealand, we have a system that is corrupt and it's costing people jobs. I've got a friend. He lives not far from me, and he told me that he's one of his employers gave him a hiding and belted him, had an argument, and he hit him. Of course, he sacked him straight away, and then he took a personal grievance claim and got money from him, and he had to hire a lawyer, and it costed my poor neighbour thousands of dollars. I can't tell you who he is. I would love to tell you who he is, but he signed an agreement that he won't tell anybody it happened. The same with Christine. She hit a woman in her job, in previous job, but she can't tell me that, and an employer not allowed to tell me because they signed a confidentiality agreement. And Christine gave me a reference that said she was a good person, which she got after she got the sack. This is how bad it is. Absolutely bad. And it's got to change. It has to change. If we're to survive as a country, we have to change our rules. We have to be fairer in how we treat people. There is a lot of people involved in this case, and I'm going to be telling you who they are. There's a lot of people done things wrong, and I'm going to be telling you what they did wrong. But the one person I feel the most sorry for is Christine, the woman I dismissed for dishonesty, the woman that took me to the cleaners, the woman that put it across me, the woman that stood up in court and told me that I was mad, that I had mental illness, and won her case. I feel sorry for her. Christine, if you're out there, I feel sorry for you. I've written to you, Christine, as you know, and I've told you that I want to help you. I can help you if you help me. I want you to admit you did wrong. There's nothing wrong in doing things wrong as long as we admit we make mistakes. All of us make mistakes. We do things we regret. I want you to stand up and say, yes, Ron, I put it across you. I stole from you. I did things wrong, Ron, and I deserve to get the sack. That's what I want you to do. And if you do that, I will help you. And you will be helping the country by changing the law. You can help me change the law, Christine. No trouble at all. You can, by being honest. I've made a lot of bloody blues in my time. But I've always owned up to it. Yeah. We're all bloody do things wrong, don't we? We all do things wrong. Listen, I got 2 cats and a dog to look after. I've got to go. I've got to get this tie off, and I've got to go for a walk the dogs. You know what I'm saying? Life has to go on. We can't be miserable all the time. Hey, listen, don't forget to tune in every morning. I'm going to be on this, talking this about stuff. I don't just about employment law. I'm going to be talking about stuff every morning. Right? And I want you to follow me. I want you to get behind what I'm doing in this particular case and other cases I'll be talking about. I've got a great, my webmaster's making me a new website called Self-Development, Personal Self-Development. I'm going to be teaching you self-development skills because I've had a lot of experience in self-development. Oh yes, I've got a lot of knowledge to part, and I want you to you can get a lot from it. Now listen, I got to go. Breakfast to have. dogs to walk, cats to feed. See you later. Hey, listen, keep smiling, won't you? Bye-bye.